Hello, everyone. I'm currently in the middle of writing some new episodes for Flashback, as well as writing some other stuff, creating some more stuff. And I figure I'd take a break. I'm very stressed. I have school stuff I gotta do too, and trying to figure out what I'm gonna do after June, because June I graduate from college, and I have no clue what I'm gonna be doing. So, I might as well take the time and do what every other YouTube movie channel does, and that's to kind of flaunt around my disc collection. So I have over 300 films in my collection. I still have like a ton more I want to get, and I probably won't get all of them, but you know, I got like 3 coming in the mail soon. I have the Lady and the Tramp signature collection from Disney. Coco and Thor Ragnarok, they're all coming via Disney Movie Club. So, yeah, let's get into it. These are in alpha numerical order. So they're mostly in alphabetical order. Sometimes they're just by franchise, how I do them, but we'll get to it. So, let's get into 007. James Bond, all 24 films. Funny thing, I bought myself Spectre before I got this, and Spectre didn't come with this set. They actually had a space in the third volume here where you could put Spectre once you got it, and the case, I think I threw out. I'm not entirely sure what I did with it. I don't know what I did with Spectre, to be honest. I actually haven't watched every single James Bond, and that's on my bucket list for this year. Is to watch every single James Bond. I've seen some of them. I haven't seen all 24 films, and yeah, there's that. 9. Good movie. Guess this one comes as a set. They live right next to each other. 21 and 22 Jump Street. I personally like the first one. Second one is okay, and I love the fact that they just kind of like make fun of the cliches of sequels and how everything's kind of like, you know, been done before. I like that. I like that kind of humor. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller are really talented comedic writers and directors, so yeah. I'm kind of sad that they got kicked off of Han Solo, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes in May. The Accountant, another fun action movie. It's okay. This one I picked up at the fabulous people at CD Game Exchange, and that is The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad and Fun and Fancy Free. I remember Fun and Fancy Free. I've been meaning to do a review of this one, but I'm not entirely sure if I want to yet, but overall, pretty decent quality stuff here. The Alien Anthology, it's a quintessential sort of thing to have Alien in your collection. The first Alien is one of my favorite horror movies. Aliens is a pretty good action film. The rest of them just suck, including Alien Covenant, which I really didn't like, both as a fan and as a filmmaker. Animal House, I like this cover, this pop art, but I know a lot of people really don't like these covers, and I can understand. I really do. I'd rather have like the cover of it be like the original poster, all artistically managed and whatnot. But beggars can't be choosers, right? American Hustle, good movie. I recently watched this, and it was pretty good. Apocalypse Now, the regular and Redux editions by Francis Ford Coppola, and you know what's funny? Last night I watched a film called Jack, and I remember watching it as a kid, and then I looked at who was directing it, and it was Francis Ford Coppola. I mean, it's a really dumb film. Jack is a really dumb film, and I was thinking of actually doing a flashback episode on it later this year, but yeah, maybe after my Batman and Robin review. That I ever so subtly tease at the end of my review of Blast from the Past. Ain't that a movie from the Blast from the Past? Apollo 13, good film. Arrival, another good film, one of my favorites of 2016. Aardman Animations, Arthur Christmas, really fun film. I usually watch this Christmas movie every Christmas nowadays. Sometimes I watch it off the off chance. I know some people are kind of distraught with this film, considering that one of the actors is now pretty much on the shit list from Hollywood. But Baby Driver with Kevin Spacey, I'm kind of glad that he's in this movie because he dies in the movie. No, just kidding. No ill will toward a man, but like he did do some wrong stuff, and for that I think he should be fired from everything. Just lose his whole career for what he did. I would go more in depth, but I don't want to really step on any more toes than I've already had with other people. So, Baby Driver, one of my favorites of the year, best action film, other than John Wick. But Back to the Future, the trilogy. I am going to try to get the animated series because I know it's bad. I watched 2 of the episodes that's included on this trilogy booklet, and it's really bad. And I've wanted to do a flashback episode on on just how bad that cartoon is. It's so bad. Not as bad as Bad Santa. Nice segue, I guess. But Bad Santa, funny ass film. The sequel, not so much. It's unfortunate. Bambi. Can't go wrong with a childhood classic like Bambi because, well, you're going to you're definitely going to get some tears out of this one. I like Bambi. The sequel, not so much, but I like it. Batman, 1989. No other words. It's good. Batman Returns. It's very overplayed and it's very over the top, but I like it. Not as over the top as like Forever and Batman and Robin. Mask of the Phantasm, a really good animated film, and I'm glad they put it on Blu-ray. I've been wanting this for the longest time because I remember watching this on DVD and I loved it, and I'm excited to see. I haven't gotten Gotham by Gaslight, and I heard that one was pretty decent or good, and I haven't seen it yet. I've been meaning to get it on Blu-ray, but other stuff keeps getting in the way. Next up, Dark Knight Trilogy. Can't go wrong with The Dark Knight. Dark Knight's turning 10 this year, as well as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm excited to review it again. Beauty and the Beast. Can't go wrong. I do not own the remake because I hate the remake. It's not good. It's just painfully average because it's all a copy of this film. And they add a couple new things, but they don't overall change the perspective or change the context for which the movie is. It's just very cynical. It's a very cynical remake of an already perfect animated film. I mean, granted, it's not fully perfect. Come on. The Beast at the end turned out to be just Prince or Beast. I don't know. Beetlejuice. I don't want to say it 2 more times. Big. Loved the film, and I still think to this day it's kind of a very screwed up kind of film. When I really look at it, it's the same reaction I have with Jack, and I would go more into it. It's just, I don't want to take up too much time with this video. It's already going to be long enough as it is, because I have over 300 films. Big Hero 6. One of my favorites. Good superhero movie. It's like X-Men First Class. The Big Lebowski. Another good comedy. Birdman. Alejandro Iñárritu is a very good filmmaker. I really like this film. Some people think it's overrated. And I can see the same thing, but just the way he directs it, the characters, the story itself, the hidden meanings of it, I loved it to death. So, let's get crazy with Patrick Swayze. Black Dog. I reviewed it before. If you want to check that out, that's on my channel. Right. Blade Runner, the final cut, which also has the director's cut, I think, and Blade Runner 2049. These go together as a pair. I know some people don't think Blade Runner 2049 is a good sequel. I think it's good. Cinematography by Roger Deakins is great. But you can't. I don't think you can still beat the original Blade Runner. I think the original Blade Runner, both of them are very similar. Slow burns, very effective sci-fi. But I know a lot of people don't like these films because they're slow and they take their time. But the thing with Ridley Scott and the thing with Denis Villeneuve is that they both take their time to develop their stories, and that's been a problem that I've been seeing with a lot of people when it comes to reactions from these films. Is that, oh well, they're too slow. They're too slow. I want things to move faster. Move it up. Keep the pace up, because we can't seem to understand that to make things go faster kind of puts in perspective of like how you view your audience. Sometimes to do a story you have to be slow and effective and atmospheric. It depends on the genre, really. But when it comes to sci-fi, like hardcore sci-fi, you have to take your time. You can't rush these things. The Blues Brothers. I like this steelbook. I found it at CD Game Exchange for like $5. Discs work, and I love this comic book-esque type cover. I really do. Boyhood. Have nothing else to say on that one. The Breakfast Club. Pretty good John Hughes film. And I have not gotten the, what was it? The Criterion Collection edition? Cabin in the Woods. A good horror film. I mean, it's not great. It's good. Kind of makes fun of a lot of conventional stuff and whatnot. Christine. A pretty good horror film from John Carpenter. I reviewed it before. A Christmas Carol. I know this is not the original Christmas Carol, because there's been so many different versions of it. But to be honest, I like the animation in this. It's not good, but there's just something about this one I like. Maybe it's like Robert Zemeckis' whole like thing with motion capture. He's like, oh, motion capture is going to be the way of the future. In the future, we're gonna like have all of our actors be completely CG, and I mean, we can kind of see it like nowadays. Like Ready Player One looks like it's going to be something like that, kind of a prelude to how we're going to do storytelling in the future. A Christmas Story, can't go wrong with a classic. It's been overplayed though, to the point where they make a crappy musical out of it. So. Got the Christmas movie collection, Rudolph and all of them. Duh. It's okay. They're all Rankin Bass. It's all Rankin Bass stuff. If you know Rankin Bass, you have your own thoughts on it. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 40th Anniversary Edition. Can't go wrong with futurism, optimistic futurism. The Conjuring, probably the only film in the Conjuring franchise that I actually like. Conjuring 2 gets so many things wrong with its own story that I just ended up not liking it as much as everyone else. But the first Conjuring is a definite good movie. Coraline, this actually does come with 3D glasses. This is the this isn't, what is this, the 3D version? I don't know. It came with 3D glasses, but I don't know if it does have the 3D edition in it. But I really like Coraline. Very good movie from Leica. The Cornetto Trilogy. You can only get this specific case from the Canadian import. So if you want like a vanilla ice cream to go with your Cornetto Trilogy, definitely get the Canadian import. Corpse Bride. Oh, sorry, it's glare. Corpse Bride. It's okay. I have nothing else on that one. The Dark Crystal. I think this is celebrating an anniversary this year, and it's getting like a Fathom event. Yeah, it's a pretty dark movie to take your kids to. And Deadpool. This is my first row of stuff. Deadpool. Excited for the sequel as much as everyone else. And now I gotta go get another row. So I'll be right back in this chair after a quick edit. Alright, so I got my second stack of shit. I got a lot of stuff. Alright, next. Die Hard. Can't go wrong with a Christmas movie. This is a Christmas movie. I swear. Django Unchained, Steelbook. Very kind of smooth. It's very smooth. I like these kind of kind of Blu-ray boxes. Very smooth. Probably need to clean that afterwards. Donnie Darko. Great little film. It was very underestimated when it came out. Dredd, another film that everyone underestimated when it came out, and it's unlikely that we'll ever get a sequel to it. It's a great remake. I liked it. Drive. Yeah. That's all I can say on it. Dumb and Dumber and The Mask. I like The Mask more than Dumb and Dumber. So, they're right on top. I thought they were. Never mind. Dumb and Dumber, The Mask. I like The Mask more. Not Dumb and Dumber. I know a lot of people like it. Dunkirk. Good movie, but the biggest problem is that you can't get the same experience as a movie theater with this film because a lot of it works because of your surround sound. So, if you have a surround sound system, this is a perfect movie for that surround sound. Very much perfect. Other than that, it's an okay movie. Eddie the Eagle. Very good 80s type film. Because, Winter Olympics is going on, so might as well have it. Edge of 17, a pretty decent coming-of-age film. People keep, saying that Lady Bird's a good coming-of-age film. I think so too, but to be honest, Edge of 17 pretty much takes my cake on that one. Edge of Tomorrow, a pretty standard sci-fi action film. I think my face is a bit overexposed, maybe? Yeah, I think so, but we're going to continue. Edward Scissorhands. Can't go wrong with that one. Elf. That's all you can say. Enemy. Another Denis Villeneuve film starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Very twisted film, and you got to rewatch it so many times. Oh, and for those of you who are wanting to do drinking games to this video, every time I tap my finger on a case, take a shot. E.T., the Extraterrestrial. I don't have the special edition thing that came out in 4K. I didn't want to spend that much money on it, so I just got myself the regular, Digibook. The whole Digibook with Blu-ray and DVD. I like the film. I really do. I love it. Ex Machina, a really good science fiction film. The Family Man, essentially another version of It's a Wonderful Life, but reskinned with Nicolas Cage. Fargo. That's all I can say. Fargo. Fargo's Fargo. Fargo. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, a quintessential John Hughes film other than Breakfast Club and 16 Candles. The Fifth Element, the only Luc Besson film I have because this is the only Luc Besson film I like. Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets is not good. Fight Club, can't talk about it. Finding Nemo, took me. I didn't notice this, but I was at CD Game Exchange and I found this cover because I really don't like those covers that just have a face on it. I like this cover a lot. I really do. It's very reflective, holographic, and it has the Blu-ray in it, and it works. Finding Dory. It's okay. Finding Nemo is probably the better of the two. And speaking of fish, The Fisher King. A really good film. I really enjoyed it. It's not one of my personal favorites, but I really like it. There's a lot you can really say with that film. The Fly. It's Cronenberg. You know what you're getting into when you see the name Cronenberg on it. Frankenweenie. A pretty decent homage to classic horror films from Universal. Ghostbusters 1 and Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters 2016 sucks. Sorry. But Ghostbusters 2, they're okay. The first one's good. Second one is eh. I mean, I kind of like this cover. I really do. Whoever does these covers for these steel books, I like them. I really do. Whoever does them, who does them? It doesn't really say, but they're pop art. I really like them. Ghost in the Shell, the original. Don't care for the remake. Godzilla. It's Jaws on land, but not enough of the creature. Hopefully they'll get it right with King Kong versus Godzilla. Good Will Hunting. It's a very, very emotional film. It's one of my personal favorites. The Goonies. A very fun, yet very dumb kids' adventure film by Richard Donner. Or Richard Donner. I said Donner. Alright. Let's see. Let's continue on here. Have all these fucking movies. The Great Gatsby. Very, very entertaining film. That's all I'll say. It's very entertaining. Grease. Or wait. Oops. I went backwards. Goosebumps. I heard they're making a sequel. I hope they do, because that one was pretty much an enjoyable kids film. The Graduate. Very fun. Very messed up. Especially for our modern times. The Grand Budapest Hotel. It's an okay movie. I know a lot of people like Wes Anderson. I'm excited to see Isle of Dogs because that comes out on my birthday. I'm turning 21 that day. I'm excited to see that one. Grease. Pretty much one of my favorite musicals. It's turning 40 this year. And The Great Gatsby. I already said that. Alright. The Green Mile. A really good Stephen King movie. Never underestimate a classic. The Green Room. A really very intense thriller with Nazi Patrick Stewart. Gremlins. Gremlins is good. Just don't feed it after midnight. The original How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I enjoy this one a lot more than the other one that I will eventually review. And there's apparently a new one coming out, so yeah, that's not going to be good. Hacksaw Ridge. A pretty entertaining war film. The first half is kind of slow, but once we get to the ridge, it picks up. Hail Caesar, another Coen Brothers film, and I enjoy it. It's not their best, but I enjoy it. Halloween, they're apparently making a remake of the second movie, and apparently it's supposed to kind of like contradict everything of the franchise, so yeah, and apparently Jamie Lee Curtis has done, she wrapped her scenes today, so yeah. Hook. Mine. Okay. Hugo and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I could get them in separate, but, you know, I'm always a sucker for these, like, you know, kind of just joint disc type things. Inception. Very mind-bending. Independence Day. I don't have the sequel, because I hate the sequel. This one is pure cheese, guilty pleasure. It's whatever. Indiana Jones, the complete series. The complete adventure, sorry. This is a foreign import, as you can see from the identifiers. I've been meaning to get myself the American version, which is just a digibook, but I'm perfectly content with just, you know, this blocky thing. Inglourious Bastards. A very fun film from Tarantino. Inside Out. An okay Disney film. It's okay. It just follows every single trend. The Incredibles. And I hate this cover. I hate it. I really hate it. Because it's just a face. It's just a face. It's just a face. There's no creativity on it. Like, I remember the original DVD cover had more creativity than that. And the last one of the row is Interstellar. Another decently handled film by Christopher Nolan. So that's it for row 2. I'm going to go off to row 3, and I'll cut back in a minute. Alright, next up, The Iron Giant. Blu-ray release is good. Don't have the actual big edition with the book. Which I did, though. It follows a pretty standard horror film that just knows how to do it in a very unique way. Jaws. Classic. I think every film school student needs to examine it. John Wick, chapters 1 and 2. I'm excited for the final chapter. Whenever that comes out. Jumanji. I will not be picking up the sequel because I don't like the sequel either. But I like Jumanji. It's a very fun, entertaining kids film with a lot of dark elements. Just saying. Jungle Book. I like it. Very photorealistic CGI for the most part. And it works well. Has a great cast. I like the kid who plays Mowgli. Hope he gets more work. I really do. Jurassic Park. Anyone see that new Jurassic World trailer? I think it looks okay. But Jurassic Park is a gold standard of 90s filmmaking. The original Kick-Ass. I don't have Kick-Ass 2 because I hate Kick-Ass 2, but the first one is the best. I like it. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I like it. Kingsman, The Secret Service. Is my disc in there? Yeah. Kingsman, The Secret Service. And Kingsman, The Golden Circle. This one is not as good as the original. It's not as good, but it's still fun. It's dumb fun. Kong Skull Island. It's okay. Kind of excited. I'm still excited for that. Kong vs. Godzilla. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's nice guys before the nice guys. Kubo and the Two Strings. Pretty good stuff. Krampus. Guilty pleasure horror Christmas film that is so much like Gremlins, but it's not. If that makes any sense. Labyrinth. A very, very fun film. Very weird. David Bowie. You get the picture. La La Land. What a snub this was. I don't quite like this one. I just feel like a lot of the fanciful stuff about Hollywood is kind of contradictory to the nature of Hollywood today. I like the film. It's energetic. It has some cool sequences. It has some nice coloring. But the thing is that it doesn't do enough to, like, you know, try to force our characters into new directions. It's just kind of a very generic musical from the 50s, but it's been modernized by Damien Chazelle, which isn't a bad thing, because Damien Chazelle knows a thing or two about doing music. He obviously has a theme with his films, and that's jazz, you know? Not to do that B-movie thing, you know, do you like jazz? You know, that stupid meme. I was watching a student film the other day in one of my classes, and the person literally had that meme in there. And I'm like, really? You're gonna do this meme? Okay, whatever. It's just as cringy as when Black Panther, you know, they did the joke of like, what are those? You know, you remember that old meme? You know? Now we have Ugandan Knuckles everywhere. The Lego Movie. Very good social commentary kids film about copyrights, patents, antitrusts. Pretty much. The Lego Batman Movie. I enjoy this film as a fan of Batman. It's probably my favorite Batman film since The Dark Knight, to be quite honest. It's very, very good. And the Lego Ninjago Movie. It's enjoyable. It's an enjoyable Lego kids film. Not as good as the other two, but it's enjoyable. I enjoy it. Life Itself, a pretty good documentary about the life and times of Roger Ebert. It is very one-sided in some situations in the film, but I overall really enjoyed watching it. And it still makes me cry at the end. Because you learn so much about him that it's almost a crime that he dies, so... And I know this happened in real life, but... The Lion King. Very, it's an okay kids film. I know a lot of people are going to get pissed off at me for that. It's like, how dare you say The Lion King's just okay? It's like, I enjoy it. I cry at the parts you cry at. I enjoy some of the songs. Some of the songs I really hate. Little Shop of Horrors. I am meaning to do a video on this one, but I have been having problems with getting a copy of it on digital, or at least trying to rip it. Maybe because it's Blu-ray, I probably need to go buy a DVD, but God, it sucks trying to rip Blu-rays. Logan. For those of you who are wondering about my full analysis video that's supposed to be due out in a couple weeks, it's probably not going to happen. It probably won't happen for another couple months. I am just so fucking busy with everything that I don't know if I can do a full analysis video of Logan on time for the anniversary of the film. I just have so much stuff going on. I really do. And it's not like I don't want to do a full analysis video of Logan. There's just so much stuff I have to do. I have scripts I gotta write. I got stuff I gotta produce, and I might be up for a film that someone else is doing. So, just saying. The Lost Boys, very good film. The second movie sucked, and the third movie was okay. Lord of the Rings trilogy. Not the extended edition, because I don't want to fall asleep. I know a lot of people like the extended editions, but to be honest, I don't think they're needed. I really don't think they're needed. I think, theatrical edition, it's good enough. If I'm kind of like sniffling a couple times, I've been having some problems nasally. Mad Max, very good post-apocalyptic film. The Road Warrior, the sequel to Mad Max. It's good. Beyond Thunderdome. People don't like this film. I enjoy it. Not perfect. Mad Max Fury Road. Very fun, energetic, kick-ass. Color grading's amazing. CG's amazing. The action sequences, amazing. But kind of a weak story. That's all I'll say. It's kind of weak. It's kind of weak in the story. Manchester by the Sea. Very sad, emotional film that I will only watch maybe every couple years. But it's very well made. Kenneth Lonergan did a... Is it Kenneth Lonergan? Yeah, I think so. He wrote the movie, and it was pretty good. Amazon Studios is doing some pretty good stuff recently. Man of Steel. I know a lot of people don't like this movie. I enjoy it because of how dumb it is. That's just what I'll say. I enjoy it because of how dumb the movie can be. And The Martian. Very good Ridley Scott film. Too bad he can't do anything past good. And now we get into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As I said before, I have Thor coming in pretty soon from Disney Movie Club, but I have all these other ones. So, Iron Man. Incredible Hulk. Iron Man 2. Thor. Captain America, the First Avenger. I don't have them in chronological order. It's when they were released. That's all I'll say. The Avengers. Iron Man 3. I like this movie. Come at me, bro. Thor: The Dark World. Very kind of meh. It's very meh. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Awesome. It's an awesome movie. Guardians of the Galaxy. Avengers: Age of Ultron. I like the case. Ant-Man. It's okay. Civil War. Doctor Strange. I like this steelbook. I really do. And it's very good visual effects. I enjoy it. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. A very fun, energetic, and comedic movie that actually expands their characters. Spider-Man: Homecoming. The last of the MCU until I get Thor: The Dark World, or Thor Ragnarok, and Black Panther eventually. Mary Poppins. A very good musical, and I love it. The Men in Black trilogy. Not all of them are good, but I like watching all of them because of how weird and stupid they become. The first one's okay, second one's garbage, third one is kind of hot trash. Misery. I've already reviewed it. And then, Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible 2. Mission Impossible 3. Ghost Protocol. And Rogue. Rogue Nation, sorry. That Fallout trailer looked really good. Very, very cool. And they even put the shot of, like, Tom Cruise's foot being, like, smashed against a wall. Like, every time I see that trailer, it freaks me out. Okay, so that's the end of row 3. I'll cut to when I have row 4. Alright, so now we're back. Moonlight. Moonlight is good. A lot of people think that this is some social justice bullshit. It's not. It's not, you know, it doesn't preach at all. It just kind of focuses on a life that I happen to enjoy. Mrs. Doubtfire. Can't go wrong with Jennifer Doubtfire. Hello. My voice is not working today. I would be able to do it, but the Muppet movie, the original, one of my favorite Muppet movies. Probably probably the best. It's one of my favorites. Has a good message. Might review it someday. The Muppet Christmas Carol, another version of Christmas Carol, I know, but it's Muppets. And it has Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge. Muppets Take Manhattan, a very fun movie. Not great, but fun. Muppets from Space, an odd movie about Gonzo's origins. God, I gotta do a Muppet movie month, you know? Where I just review every single Muppet movie, including that Wizard of Oz movie. Muppet Treasure Island, Muppet Caper. Muppet Caper's good. Muppet Treasure Island has Long John Silver, played by Tim Curry. What could possibly go wrong? The Muppets, remake-ish. No, reboot. I'll say reboot. It's very fun. It's very energetic, and I enjoy it. Muppets Most Wanted is a great sequel to that. I know some people feel underwhelmed by this film, but to be honest, when your film says that it has an unnecessarily extended edition, it's funny. The Neverending Story, the only one that you should watch out of all of the Neverending Story movies / spin-offs. The Nice Guys, very fun movie, and one of my favorite films from Shane Black. The Nightmare Before Christmas, a good stop-motion animated feature. Oculus, very horrifying movie, and if you watch Deus Decon reviews, he did a H.P. Lovecraft month and accused Oculus, or at least kind of had a theory that Oculus was a H.P. Lovecraft inspired movie. Very interesting review, and I'll put it down in the link in the description. 1 Hour Photo. I actually haven't seen this movie. I remember my family having it, but I never once watched it. So I heard it's creepy. It's done by Mark Romanek. I'll leave it there. Pacific Rim. Its sequel actually comes out on my birthday when I turn 21. I have like 3 movies coming out on my birthday, and it just seems like an extravaganza for me. You know, I have Isle of Dogs, Pacific Rim Uprising, and Sherlock Gnomes. Paranorman. Personally, my favorite Leica movie, until they make a new one. Charlie Brown Christmas. It's a Christmas special. I enjoy it. It got a 4K release, which is just odd. How do you make, like, grainy 60s, 70s cartoons into 4K? The image quality can't be good on those. It just can't be good. I'm sorry. It's great. Pumpkin Charlie Brown. Halloween one. The Peanuts movie. Personally, one of my favorite adaptions ever. It doesn't do a lot of modernization. It's very well done. I enjoy it. And once in a while, I'll put it in just when I need to feel happy. You know, the voice acting, character design, it's all good. The story itself is good, too. The original Pete's Dragon. I don't have the remake / reboot. I like the corniness of the original. I really like the corniness. I like the villains in this one, too. The villains in this one actually have much more personality than Carl Urban in the remake. Pinocchio. Very good movie, but I wish Jiminy Cricket would have gotten crushed by Pinocchio like in the fairy tale, you know? Alright. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, Dead Man's Chest, Outworld's End, On Stranger Tides. Not my personal favorite, this one. I don't have Dead Man Tell No Tales because I'm waiting for a sale to go down so that, you know, I can get it cheaper than what it is. Pixar Animated Shorts Part 1 and Part 2, and the Walt Disney Short Film Collection. I love watching these short films because it kind of inspires me to do actual more short films, to make something creative. And by watching all these ones, they're really good. I've been wanting to do just like a whole review series where I just look at every single short on these 3 discs and just reviewing them all. It could happen someday. It could. Other way. Okay, what's funny about this next one, is on my way back to Eugene from Christmas break, my plane out of Pendleton came an hour late, and so I couldn't catch the flight in Portland, and I couldn't get it rescheduled, otherwise I would have to stay overnight. So I took a plane to Portland, and then I went on a train from Portland to Eugene, and then I had a friend pick me up by car. So I've literally did a planes, trains, and automobiles. A very good comedy, too. It's very good comedy. Next up, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn, and War. I don't have the Charlton Heston / those 5 films. I plan to someday, but what's funny is that they do an extreme close-up, a close-up, and a long shot. I just love how these covers just kind of like zoom out over time from a face. Polar Express, another Robert Zemeckis motion capture film. He's become more obsessed with that technology. Power Rangers, not a perfect movie, guilty pleasure as always. Predator triple feature. What I find funny about this series is that this series keeps going back and forth between jungles and cities. Like, the new Shane Black Predator film is supposed to be set in suburban America. Okay, is he trying to do another rendition of Suburban Commando with Predators? Oh, okay. The Prestige, fun magic film. The Princess Bride. It's good. It's good. The Prisoners, not The Prisoners. Prisoners. Another good Denis Villeneuve film. Prometheus. It's okay. It's a decent science fiction film, but not a good alien film. Psycho. It's kind of matte finish. Very classic. Pulp Fiction. Another classic. Tarantino. You get the gist. Rango. Another motion capture film, but I honestly think this is my favorite motion capture type film. Reservoir Dogs. Messed up and fun. The Revenant. Another Alejandro Iñárritu directed film. Very well done. It's very risky. It's a very risky movie considering of the lighting and cinematography, but they really nailed it. RoboCop, the original. Not going past the first one. Rocky Horror Picture Show. Very weird movie. I will say it right now. Very weird. Don't know why everyone likes it, but I'll watch it. It's Tim Curry. Tim Curry's in it. The Sandlot. Apparently that's getting an anniversary edition this year. This next one I'm not too proud of, but I grew up watching these films. The Santa Claus trilogy. All 3. They're not good movies, but I'll watch them Christmas because they just somehow they get me into the spirit of Christmas. I mean, they're bland, generic, and okay, but it's the Santa Claus movies. And finally, last of row 4, Saving Mr. Banks. Very good behind-the-scenes type film. Maybe they'll do something for like Snow White's 100th anniversary, where they do like a behind-the-scenes of like how Snow White became such a big film in 1937. So, yeah, that's row 4. I'll cut when I have row 5. Alright, next up, Scarface. Remake of a 50s prohibition film, and it's about drugs. Can't go wrong with drugs. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Pretty good comic book adaptation film. It's done by Edgar Wright. Very good director. That's all I can say. Scrooged. Another third Christmas Carol film. I know. I have 3 Christmas Carol films. I don't know why. But Scrooged. It's a very fun comedy that is modernized. It's a very modernized version. 7. What's in the box? A disc. There, I spoiled it. The Shawshank Redemption. I like the cover. I like the movie. Sherlock Holmes 1 and 2. Very guilty pleasure. They're not good films, but I like them. The Shining. Stephen King still has a problem with this one. I say whatever. It's very good. I'm sorry. Sorry, King. Silence of the Lambs. Very messed up film, but it won Best Picture. It's probably one of the only horror films to win Best Picture. Snowpiercer. A really good movie by Bong Joon-ho, who keeps making good movies and is slowly making us want to rethink eating meat. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Disney Collection. It's just one of those films that animation nerds should have. Some people don't like it. Source Code. Very weird sci-fi thriller film, but it's very fun and entertaining. And Jake Gyllenhaal, again, good acting. It's a good movie, not the greatest. Song of the Sea. I still am trying to find Secret of the Kells, but Song of the Sea is a pretty good fairy tale. Very good fairy tale. Spaceballs. Can't go wrong with a Mel Brooks film that actually has more relevance today than anything, considering the Disney taking over Star Wars and all that. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Only the first 2 I watched. The third one I watch if I'm drunk, or if I really want to make myself cry. Space Jam. I am considering doing a review. Probably not this year. Split. Very good thriller. Third act's kind of goofy, but it is a lead-in to Glass, which is the new film that's supposed to cross over this film and Unbreakable. So, hopefully that movie's good. For the Love of Spock. Very good documentary done by Leonard Nimoy's son about the influences of Star Trek as well as the influences of Spock on pop culture. Very good documentary. Definitely watch it. I think it's on Netflix. Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix, Blu-ray, DVD, whatever. Just watch it. If you're a Star Trek fan, you'll love it. It's certainly much better than Star Trek Discovery. Stand By Me. Very good film. An influencer of many, many, many films. 2009 Star Trek. It knows what it is. It's dumb action schlock. It's not a good Star Trek movie, but I enjoy it. Again, I acknowledge it's not a good Star Trek film. Same thing goes with Star Trek Into Darkness. It's not a good film at all, and I don't know what I was thinking when I was younger, thinking that this movie was good enough so I can get it on Steelbook. I still don't know why I still have this one. But somehow I just like this image of cuffs on Khan's hand. Star Trek Beyond. Probably should have had a better reception than it did, because the box office wasn't so great. But the fan and critical reaction to this film was actually really good. I personally think that this is my favorite of the three, considering that it is more of a Star Trek movie than anything. But there is the problem of it having too much action, which is just... It's just common for this new JJ verse. Whatever they're going to call it, really. Some people call it the Kelvin timeline, but Star Wars prequel trilogy. I only watch it if I'm doing a marathon, and I'm just a completionist, and I don't usually watch them all the time. Rogue One. Not a very well done movie, but I like it for how big it gets, and pretty much some of the cinematography in the film. And Darth Vader always stand out. Even when he is doing dad jokes, you know, no, don't choke on your aspirations. Very dumb. The original trilogy. I wish, now that Disney has the full... Disney is almost getting the full rights to Star Wars. They could, in a sense, release the original unaltered editions. I honestly think that you could make good altered editions. Just do coloring. Just do good color grading for all of the three movies, and you would be set. You don't need to add like unnecessary CGI or anything. Because I remember watching these films on VHS before they were altered. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. A lot of people don't like this film. Some people hate it because Rey is a Mary Sue. I don't think she's a Mary Sue. I just think, you know, she doesn't... Like, the writers don't know how to fully express her vulnerabilities to the point where, you know, people think that she's a Mary Sue. But keep in mind, this is a film that kind of is a blatant ripoff of A New Hope. It's very weak when it has to rely on old structures, which could be a shooting in the foot for like people for films like Indiana Jones. Like, Indiana Jones has a very similar structure in all three of the films, but they're regarded as pretty much classics of Spielberg. Same thing goes with Back to the Future. Like, all three of those films have a very similar setup. You have to go to a certain date, and you have to experience everything, and you have to try to figure out problems while also trying to save the time-space continuum. Star Wars is very similar. It's just, you know, you have an outside force, you got the rebels, you got the Empire, or some sort of oppressive force, and they always fight. But Star Wars Force Awakens does have its problems, but, you know, I could get into more of that. Yes, I am buying The Last Jedi. It's not a good film, or it's not a great film. It's a decently handled film, and it has problems, yes. Even as a fan, I have problems with it. The Sting. Very good Paul Newman, Robert Redford film. Other than Butch Cassidy. Stuart Little. I've wanted to do a review of this movie, but this doesn't have the DVD. There's no DVD, so I can't rip the DVD. So now we get into Studio Ghibli. I only have 5 Studio Ghibli films. I am meaning to buy more. Howl's Moving Castle. Kiki's Delivery Service. My Neighbor Totoro. Spirited Away. And Whisper of the Heart. All really good films. Some of them not so much, but Spirited Away definitely is a good one. I enjoy it. Super 8. Spielberg and J.J. Abrams together. Very intriguing. Sweeney Todd. A very, very fucked up musical, but I enjoy it. And the Blu-ray box has some problems here with loose stuff. I gotta get myself a new Blu-ray box. Alright, Turtles in a Half Shell. The first one and the second one. The second one, I know is not that good, but it has Vanilla Ice saying, "Go Ninja, go Ninja, go." It's not as violent or profane as this one, but I still like both of them. I really do. The third one sucks, and the remakes suck. So, that's why I don't have those either. The Terminator. Very good film. And T2, Judgment Day. Both very good films. The Theory of Everything. A very, very dramatic and decent story. The Thing, a very good horror film. The Tigger movie. I want desperately to review this movie someday. Someday I'll review it because it's not that great of a film, but it holds something in my heart. So it will be a flashback episode at some point. I don't know when. The Adventures of Tintin in a Tintin box. That's all I can say. It's a very fun movie, but it does get annoying with all the, like, motions and speeds that it does. Titanic. That's all I can say. It's Titanic. Tomb Raider. Very underrated, but it's fun. It's a fun, dumb movie, and I'm kind of excited to see Tomb Raider next month. Top Gun. This is the quintessential cheesy, 90s action, dumb, bro flick that has gay imagery, and that's just all I can say. It's a fun movie with a very annoying soundtrack. Some people hate it, and I can understand why. I don't have Toy Story Trilogy anymore. I'm trying to get the American versions, but they've been a problem to try to get. But the only Toy Story movie I have so far is Toy Story That Time Forgot. It's like one of those specials that you see on ABC every couple years. Tron Legacy. I would need to get the original Tron. True Grit, a good remake of a movie that was decent on its own, but the original failed to adapt the book correctly. And I know some people are peeved by me saying that movie is superior to the John Wayne version. Alright, whatever. The Truman Show. Truman Show's good. Truman Show's great. As long as it doesn't get canceled. Twister. A very dumb movie. I will review it one day. Up. I have no other words other than to say balloon. And squirrel. V for Vendetta. Very good comic book movie. One of my favorite DC films, to be honest. Vacation. The original Vacation. And that's it for row 5. I have one more row of shit, and then we'll be done with the video. So I will cut when I have row 6 in my possessions. Alright, and starting off at the top is Christmas Vacation, to continue the vacation. And we're going to Europe with European Vacation. I don't have Vegas, and I don't have the remake or reboot. WALL-E. Good movie. Third act, though, is kind of rushed. Watchmen, director's cut. I like this film. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's not accurate to the comic, even though it was mostly accurate up until the third act, which I know was supposed to be a giant fucking squid, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it. My throat's getting a little bit raspy from saying all these names. West Side Story. Spielberg's wanting to remake this. I don't think he should. There's a lot of reasons why. It'll eventually be its own episode. What Dreams May Come. Very dark movie with Robin Williams. It's not a great movie. It's not even a good movie. But it's decent. It's a decent movie that I happen to like. Whiplash. The best, fuck, what's this? Shit. The best Damien Chazelle movie. That's just what I'm going to say. I think it's his best. I know La La Land for many people is his best, but I don't agree. The Wizard of Oz. Good movie. Its sequels, not so much, except for Return to Oz. That one's messed up. The Wolf of Wall Street. Wonder Woman. I know it's not the best, and I think it's just okay to watch. It's still not as good as any of the Marvel movies. It in terms of DC movies, it's easily the best of them, including the Justice League. It's still the best, but it's still not good. It's just okay. It's an okay movie. It's a Wonderful Life. Very good Christmas movie. Very emotional. Wreck-It Ralph. I'm excited. I'm obviously excited for the sequel, as well as, you know, The Incredibles 2. I forgot to say that when I brought up The Incredibles. Zootopia, a film that might have been marketed towards furries. That's all I say. I like it. It's okay. It's just the message was a bit too forced. So now we get into the DVDs. I have DVDs, to be honest. You've seen this one before. The Tower of Terror DVD. Yes, this movie is as dumb as I did make it out to be in my flashback review, so. There's Tower of Terror. Red Dwarf, Series 1 through 8. I know they're up to, I think, Series 12 or 13. I don't quite have all of them. I will get them someday and finish watching them. I remember watching the first 7. Was it 7? No. The first 6 series. The first 6 series of Red Dwarf, and I loved every single second of it. I am thinking about doing its own series where I just look at each episode and review them. It's a pretty big undertaking, but I think it can be done. Stranger Things. I know this should have been in my Blu-ray, but it also has a DVD. I love the packaging of this VHS style set. It's very good. Very good show. Season 2 was alright. I'm excited to see whether or not they release another home release of this. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's as dumb as it sounds. I don't know why I have this one, but I went to a concert by them, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and they had this, and I thought, you know, this would be fun to watch. I haven't opened it yet. This cost me $20 at the concert, which also is a funny story, because, like, you know, this ticket I have back here was for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and funny thing is, I wasn't supposed to be on the floor. This is a floor seat. I originally was in the nosebleed sections, because that was the cheapest ticket I could have. Turns out, when I got there, those seats weren't even open for the concert. So, I got a free floor seat. So, I got to be on the floor with all the different, you know, players for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And it was fun. It was fun. It was a fun concert, and full of rock. It's full of rock. And here's that Grinch. This Grinch, you will be reviewed someday. You're going to be reviewed. Mark my words. I will review this year. And finally, to end off everything, the Batman anthology. Everything from the first Batman from Tim Burton all the way to Batman and Robin, which is my next flashback review, Batman and Robin. So yeah, that's all I have. Every single one, all the movies, all the DVDs, every single one. Yeah, I'll probably try to do this like a yearly thing or every couple years, but if I can still manage it at least. So yeah, that's the end. It's the end of everything. So. Thank you so much for watching. What is your favorite movie? That's the question of the day. What's your favorite movie of all time? So, keep those cameras rolling, and I'll see you guys in the next review.